You know, I recently have come out with a book, Our Presidents and Their Prayers. And as I look through all of the presidents, all their Thanksgiving proclamations and their prayers, every one of them looked to divine providence. Every one of them looked to God. Often the media will say, well, are we a Christian nation? And like it's a gotcha question. Well, sure, we were founded by almost entirely Christians. But we also founded a country that was open to people of every religion. And when we talked about the First Amendment, it wasn't about keeping religious people out of government. It was about keeping the government out of our religion. So I think that as we look forward and we say, what kind of government do we want and who do we want? Sure, we want someone who's religious. Sure, we want someone who has values, someone who believes that liberty thrives when you have virtue, when a country is virtuous. Washington said that. Washington said that democracy thrives when you have a virtuous people. But it's a tricky balance. A friend of mine, or an author that I like, Os Guinness, who's a theologian, says that liberty requires a virtuous people and that liberty requires restraint. But he says something else. He says that the only kind of restraint consistent with liberty is voluntary restraint or self-restraint. There's a lot of this government's not going to cure for us. Government's not going to save us. Government isn't salvation. Government doesn't replace our religion. We want moral people in government. We want government to promote moral causes. We want government to do the right thing. We also need to look to ourselves, to our pastors, and say, look, you want to fix the marriage problem? We're going to have to look to ourselves and teach our kids that it's the right thing to do. And I think when we do that, when we realize that government's not going to solve all our problems, I think what we're going to find is that we're a healthier, bigger, better Christian and multi-religious nation that will thrive again when government is so small that you can barely see it, and we remember that the Constitution restrains the government, not the people. Thank you.